Hello, this is Nis Laws and Viewer Television. I am Joy Malik. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed ministries, departments, and agencies to study a report on how best to ensure effective policy design and implementation with a view to applying some of its recommendations. Receiving the report, Buhari assured the course participants that it will be treated with the seriousness and urgency it deserves. This was disclosed in a statement by Femi Adesina, the special advisor to the president, media and publicity, declaring that this administration has invested great effort in the provision of good governance and made tremendous progress at getting the desired result. Buhari said, and in quote, "This report becomes important and timely in our quest to enhance service delivery to our citizens." On the importance of NIPSS and its course participants, the president noted it was always a delight to receive their input on important issues that are of great concern to the government and the nation. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged for the strengthening of Nigeria-Japan cooperation. Gbajabiamila told the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria, Matsuanga, that the House of Representatives wanted to continue the strong cooperation with the Japanese parliament. He also noted that the 61 years of friendship had benefited both nations in many sectors of the economy, including technology and education. Ambassador Matsuanga had previously informed the Speaker that Japan was committed to deepening its 61-year-old bilateral relations with Nigeria. Now, despite the effects of the coronavirus crisis, he said Japan was able to use information and communication technology to expand its economic and commercial interests in Nigeria. The House of Representatives has taken steps to remove the Code of Conduct Tribunal from the control of the executive arm of government in the judiciary as an independent arm of the government. This is as the House passed through second reading a bill to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 with a view to removing the CCT from the executive arm and placing it under the judiciary as a superior court of record. Sponsors of the bill, Solomon Bob and Olajide, said the bill proposes to amend some sections of the Constitution, among others, that deal with superior courts of record and sought to incorporate the CCT among them. Leading debate on the bill, Bob said in a presidential democracy such as Nigeria's, the three arms of government, the legislature, executive, and judiciary, are distinct and separate in functions, powers, and composition. The lawmakers said these provisions clearly close the tribunal as a judicial body with the powers of a competent court record, adding that the failure to situate it under the judicial arm of government is contrary to the principle of separation of powers. The report.
And indeed confounding that a judicial tribunal clothed with enormous powers to sanction public officers found guilty of violating the Code of Conduct Act, including power to order forfeiture and bar offenders from holding public office, is placed under the executive rather than the judiciary, an arm where it rightly belongs. The punishments which the Code of Conduct Tribunal may impose shall include any of the following: A, vacation of office or seats in any legislative house, as the case may be. B, disqualification from membership of the legislative house and from holding of any public office for a period not exceeding 10 years.
The Director General National Youth Service Corps, NYC Brigadier General Sheibu Ibrahim, has cautioned employers on overusing corps members after their place of primary assignment, urging them to treat them as permanent staff. Ibrahim, represented by the Northwest Area Office Director of the scheme, Zainab Issa, made the plea at the 2021 NYC Employers Workshop held in Kaduna. The The DG lamented that the employers sometimes do not assign the corps members their roles which were benefiting as graduates. Ibrahim, however, noted that the scheme would monitor and put to stop such kinds of attitudes by such employers. Now, the DG frowned at the rate certain organizations reject corps members, which sometimes results in them stage managing their own rejection, delay in issuing monthly clearance as well as their abscondment. He, however, warned the corps members against unapproved traveling and to also prioritize personal security. Now, the Chairman Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, John Ogbe, has called for innovations that would aid to address various challenges militating against revenue generation and growth of the media and advertising industry in Nigeria. Ogbe made the call in Abuja during a courtesy visit to the Registrar CEO of Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, Dr. Aleli Khan, and commended the council for the introduction of some new policies. Now, he noted that the industry could not grow without advertising and expressed optimism that the policies would help resolve the long problems of industry, declaring bond support to advertising industry standard of operating procedure policy. Now, he added that the organization is ready to partner with APCAN on these and other policies to ensure it beneficial to all the parties. On his part, APCAN Registrar CEO Aleli Khan, who underscored the importance of revenue to the survival of the media industry operating in the country, called for synergy among the actors in the industry. Now, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has called on the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government to go back to the negotiation table in the interest of Nigerian students, instead of embarking on a fresh industrial action which will further affect the academic calendar. President of the association, Sunday Adedayo, who stated this in Bauchi on the occasion of the state's International Students' Day, also advocated for proper funding of public tertiary institutions in the country in order to ensure they meet the demands of both public and private sector. Our Bauchi State correspondent Howard Hassan tells us more.
November 17th every year is a day set aside by the World Students' Union to celebrate the International Students' Day. This year's celebration in Bauchi, which was honored by the President of the National Association of Nigeria Students, NANS, Comrade Sunday Adedayo, at the Federal Polytechnic Bauchi, focuses on call to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government to ensure peaceful resolution of their problems in the interest of the Nigerian students.
We must acknowledge the challenge as a venue to also work across board to ensure a better system. I therefore, on behalf of all the Nigerian students, plead with the ASU and the federal government to serve their sword in the interest of Nigerian students and work together to ensure continuity in our academic calendar, thereby improving the quality of education in our tertiary institutions.
The president also calls for proper funding of the country's tertiary institutions, which he says can go a long way in improving educational standards.
I call for a proper funding of public polytechnics, colleges of education, monotechnics. The proven funding is necessary to ensure our public institutions meet the personal needs of both public and private sectors. It is therefore imperative that the government should start considering 25% increment in money payable to TED fund as education tax.
On his part, the executive governor of Bauchi State, who was represented by Chief of Staff Adam Gamawa, calls on the students to be innovative in their learning in order to build character for good leadership.
So take your learning opportunity here as part of your leadership and character building. The certificate you will get at the end of the day is not for what you know alone. It's also for the character that you have built. I hope you will use this opportunity that you have of attending very good schools that we are very proud of, and we also associate with in our administration to learn in the classroom and to learn outside the classroom.
He says the Bauchi State government will continue to support education for the benefit of the citizenry Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, News Plus continues.
Welcome to News Plus on Viewer Television. I am Charles Doke.
Hello and welcome to News Plus on Viewer Television. I am Jerry Malik.
Hello and welcome to News Plus. I am John Matake.
Hello and welcome to News Plus. I am Ike Omar.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Plus on Viewer Television. Now let's take it to Bauchi State, where Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has presented a budget proposal of 195 billion naira for capital recurrent services for the 2021 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. Now the budget, which according to Governor Bala Mohammed is 8.5% lower than this year, comprised recurrent expenditure of 84 billion naira, constituting 43%, while capital expenditure received the sum of 410 billion naira. Our Bauchi State correspondent Howard Sen completes the story.
The moment when Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad presented a budget proposal for the 2022 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. The governor, while presenting the budget proposal before the State House of Assembly, says the 2022 budget is 8.5 lower than this year, a reduction of which is arrived at in order to align the government's project with the current economic realities.
This conservative approach was adopted to ensure that projects and programs captured are implemented. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the process of the preparation of the budget has been all-inclusive. Budget public hearings were conducted in the 3 senatorial districts, while inputs from stakeholders were elicited and incorporated into the budget.
Governor Bala Muhammad says the budget comprised of recurrent expenditure of over 84 billion naira at 43%, while capital expenditure received the sum of over 110 billion naira, which is at 57%.
The sum of 195 billion 355,607,143 naira have been budgeted capital and recurrent services during the 2022 fiscal year. This comprises of recurrent expenditure of 84,375,180,510 naira, of which 3%, while capital expenditure receives the sum of 110,620,426,625 naira, or 57% of the budget.
In his remark, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Abubakar Y. Suleiman, reassures their commitment for a continuous working relationship with the executive arm of the government for the development of the state.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that we are ready to execute the same commitment for the good people of Bauchi State. We will dispassionately scrutinize the budget and ensure its timely passage.
The proposal was tagged Budget of Consolidation and Continuous Commitment. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
Now, moving over to Kaduna State, the National Executive Council of the Nigerian Union of Teachers has enjoined its members in Kaduna State not to take part in the competency test organized by the state government. Now, Kelvin Wang called the Deputy National President of the Union in a meeting with teachers, and the state noted that the directive of the national body is as a result of plans by the Kaduna State government to conduct competency tests for public primary school teachers in December. Recall that the Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board had in July announced plans to conduct competency tests for primary school teachers to ensure quality teaching in the state. Now, the state wing of the union in a communique on August 18th, while reacting to the development, has showed that none of its members in public primary school would sit for the test. The Deputy National President of the Union said that the teachers' competence had been proved by various accredited universities and colleges of education and were also tested before they were hired as teachers. Now, the state chairman Ibrahim Dahatu noted that only TRCN was legally empowered to conduct any form of competency test for teachers and said that teachers would not subject themselves to any test conducted by any other body. Now, bandits operating in Katsina State are using radio frequency transceivers to overcome the shutdown of telecommunication services in the state. The state government had in September cut telecommunications network in 13 local government areas. It said in the front line of banditry in the state. But at the press conference, the secretary to the government of Katsina State, Mustafa Inuwa, said the bandits have been unrelenting in circumventing the security measures devised to curb their activities. Inuwa, who is also the chairman of the security committee in the state, said security agents are, however, on the trial of bandits using their walkie-talkie, while insisting that there has been a reduction in bandit attacks since the containment order. Inuwa added that from September to date, 244 suspects have been arrested and 33 under investigation and 80 under prosecution. He said the security measures in the containment order were taken to strategically tackle insecurity, calling it a child of necessity. Now, the Sultan of Sokoto, Said Abubakar, has urged the President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure the federal government honor the agreement it reached with the Academic Staff Union of universities so as to prevent another strike. The traditional ruler, who is also the chancellor of the university in Ibadan, stated this in Ibadan at the grand finale of the convocation of the universities, which was also used to celebrate its 73rd Founders' Day. Now, Buhari, who is a visitor to the university, was represented at the ceremony by the Deputy Executive Secretary Administration, National Universities Commission, Chris Mayaki. The Sultans also called on the new Vice Chancellor, Professor Kayode, to ensure genuine reconciliation with other contestants for the development of the university. In his speech, the Pro-Chancellor and the Chairman of the Governing Council of UI, John, said the university required a special intervention and had to restore its respect among universities in the world. Now, the federal government's social intervention program appears to have fallen short of reaching some of its target beneficiaries. One of those yet to be considered are the highway road sellers who engage in petty trading of foodstuff. A close-up of some of them reveals that just a little government intervention is what most of them need to make ends meet. Our correspondent Rashida Yusuf tells us more.
Yes, the present administration should be commended for all her intervention programs to the micro, small and medium-scale enterprises, as well as the Trader Money Initiative. Unknown to the government, however, the highway traders who try daily to make ends meet are yet to benefit from the federal government's make of kindness.
Atamaka mun a gyara muna guri abinda muna sai ana kawo muna daga Kano ba kasuwa ba mu samu kasuwa mun zo mu wuni ba kasuwa muna so gwamnati ta make mu do abinda muna so kenan.
For the market you dey move small but no be say e dey like that. And you see this yam wey we dey collect so na collect we dey collect where we sell finish before we go pay. We no get our own money to use and go buy. Hopefully dem go fit help me wey I go fit dey use I go get the money to use and do the business.
We don't have capital enough to stand up with our business. We just want government to help us, even though it's a loan that they can be able to help us with, so that we can be able to back up on our business. Because everything is expensive.
Although the women complain of low sales, regular buyers testify to high quality of food stuff on display along the highway.
They sell quality things, to be sincere, and I can see that they come from the farms, and I think what they are selling is fair enough compared to what we have in the markets in the town. Yeah, the prices are reasonable too.
The price is too cheap. It's not like inside town.
The women also spoke about the source of their high quality produce. These highway roadside markets are common sites along the highways across the country. You and I also have our quota to contribute to their well-being. Why not stop by and make little purchase from them one of these days? You may be helping a family. Rashidat Yusuf, Viewer Television News, Abuja.
And on news around the world, the Iraq Ministry of Transport announced that it organized a forced flight for its citizens stuck on the Poland-Belarus border on a voluntary basis. Abbas Omran, the Iraq Airways General Manager, said, by the directives of the Minister of Transport, Captain Nasir, an exceptional flight was flown to evacuate the Iraqs after taking the approvals from the Iraq and Belarusian higher authorities. Now, immigrants have been trying to cross from Belarus to Poland for months, but the crisis reached a new level when hundreds made a concerted attempt to be pushed back by Polish border guards. Meanwhile, Ankara banned Syrians, Iraqis and Yemenis from traveling from Turkish airport to Belarus due to the refugee crisis. Now, it is worth noting that Iraq has suspended flight between Baghdad and Minsk until further notice.
Здесь то, что не сначала нажал. Ну, вы просто начали говорить, я потом нажал рек. Запись. Yes. Да, есть.
Как исполнение-то башная его? Слушай,
Now, Ethiopian journalist Solan Koli has won the Rory Peck Prize News category for his coverage of the devastating conflict in the Tigray region of his home country. Now, media were kept far from fighting, which meant a coverage blackout. Instead, Koli documented the aftermath. mass graves, distraction and anguish, and interviews with victims, survivors, and witnesses. The 32-year-old freelancer says the award means a lot to him because it is a testament that his effort has succeeded in shining a light in the middle of information blackout. The Rory Peck Awards highlights the work of freelance journalists around the world, often working amid great personal danger and sacrifice.
I feel so proud to have received such a prestigious award. I didn't expect it because both of the finalists have also done fantastic stories. This award means a lot to me because it is a testament that my efforts have succeeded in shining a light in the middle of information blackouts and making the voice of Ethiopian war victims heard across borders, knocking on many doors and touching many hearts.
Now, British Defense Minister on Thursday arrived in Poland in hopes of setting out how UK troops can help strengthen the country's border with Belarus at the time when thousands of migrants are trying to cross into the EU. The mission comes 2 days after Ben Wellens visited Ukraine, where the two countries finalized an arms deal and underlines the UK's post-Brexit willingness to reach defense agreements with countries near Russia's border. A study team of about 10 UK soldiers invited over by Warsaw last week are racing to complete an assessment before the summit between Wellens and his Polish counterparts, Mariusz. The expectation is that Poland will ask for a British contingent of engineers to help with reinforcing the border fence, which has been repeatedly breached by people mostly from the Middle East, desperate to start new lives in the West. Now, a group of Turkish musicians have taken to making music with trash and waste materials in a bid to promote recycling and rid the environment of waste and pollution. Take a look at a very unlikely story in this report.
An empty can, the base of a lamp and string. What sounds like rubbish to some is music to the ears of a Turkish band that turns waste into instruments to promote recycling.
Sonuç bizi şaşırttı. Hani dinleyenleri de şaşırttı. Hatta şey dediler yani bu enstrümandan bu ses çıkıyor mu? Birçoğu halen inanmıyor. Yani canlı dinlemedikten sonra. Konser verince mesela şaşırdılar. Bazen direkt karşımıza çıkıyor. Bir işte eskici de görüyoruz mesela, oradan arıyoruz. Bazen bir deponun kenarında görüyoruz. Bazen bir fabrikanın atığı olabiliyor. Ben doğada da çok geziyorum. Bazen doğada bulduğumuz şeyler oluyor. Bazen kendi atıklarımız oluyor ya da bir arkadaşımızın atıkları oluyor.
Fungistible, an instrumental trio that began experimenting with a sound they call Trash Oriental in 2019, have joined a growing global movement of groups that bang, strum, and blow into things they find in the dustbins. Fungistable's popularity coincides with a steady rise in interest in the environment, especially after Turkey was ravaged by wildfires, flash floods, and other deadly disasters this year.
Şahit olduk bunlara artık toplum olarak da. İleri dönüşümlü müzik kısmı bizim için önemli gerçekten. Bu dünyada da bu tarz müzik aslında deneysel müzik kapsamına giriyor. Yani deneysel müzikte az önce de beraber konuştuk. Farklı sesler, zırıltılar, cızırtılar, ses bozulmaları, patlamalar bu hayatın içindeki gibi aslında hep mevcut.
And that's all on News Plus. Do stay tuned for the rest of our programs. Many thanks for watching.